we are less than 1 week away from the 2020 NFL draft, and heading into the NFL draft, we know all the big names: Joe Burrow, Chase Young, Jeffrey Okudah, Ohio State players, LSU players. We know about those guys. But what I wanted to do in this video is I want to take a look at some of those small school players. And no, I'm not talking about Jordan Love at Utah State or Conference USA guys. I'm looking at guys that are not in the FBS. They're not in what would be considered 1A. I'm talking about the FCS guys, the Division 2 guys, Division 3 guys, so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a look at my top 5 small school prospects, the guys that maybe you haven't even heard of, and these guys are maybe going to go on day 2 or day 3 of the NFL draft, and then potentially go on to be stars. So like I said, top 5 guys. Let's get started. My number 1 small school guy is Dayton tight end Adam Troutman. He's actually my 28th rated player in this class. So I have him ranked as if he's going to be a first round pick, being that 28th rated player. He is an athletic tight end at 6'5", 255 pounds. Not only does he have elite size for the position, but he has that athletic testing. He went to the combine. Here's a guy that's, Dayton, small school, doesn't play this high-end competition. He goes to the combine and put in tests in the top 10 in nearly every single category. He shows the explosiveness with his vertical leap and his broad jump. He shows the speed with his 40. And not only does he show those at the combine, he's just a workout warrior, those traits show up on tape. I put out a film room session on Adam Troutman. If you haven't checked that out, check my YouTube channel out down in the film room section. His athletic traits show up on tape. And when I look at small school guys, and this is going to go for all 5 guys in this list, I want to see these guys stand out. It can't be just, oh, hey, they're just a guy on the field. To me, if I think they're going to be good, they have to clearly stand out. And that's what Adam Troutman did in all the games that I've seen. He was clearly a man among boys. In one of the games against Drake, he caught a ball on a short, bootleg type route. He ran and was bouncing off defenders, and it literally looked like a high school kid playing with his little brother's friends in the backyard. He's got the size. He's got the hands. He can go up and high point the ball. He can make easy hands catches. He's could use some work as a route runner. He does show some traits, the ability to kind of set up routes. He could continue to get better, but we see that with tight ends coming to the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're at Dayton or if you're at an SEC school. A lot of tight ends kind of take a little bit of time to get their feet wet in the NFL, and I think Adam Troutman will do that. But I think he's got all the traits to be a top 5 tight end in the NFL, and that's kind of where I see him. He is my number 1 rated tight end in this class. I have him as tight end number 1. I think he's going to be a late first, early second round grade is where I have him. He's probably going to go in round 2. I could see him maybe going into round 3, but I think this tight end class is a little top heavy. So I think second round would be a good spot for him. Put him on a spot where he doesn't necessarily need to come in right away, and then he can sit there and develop and then eventually become that true number 1 receiver. And I think he's got the potential, when his career is over, he's going to be a top 5 tight end while he's in the NFL. My second rated small school prospect is Southern Illinois safety Jeremy Chin, a 6'3", 221-pound safety. He's another guy that as soon as I turned on the tape of him, you didn't even need a little bubble saying where he's at. He just flashed time after time after again. He's a strong safety. He played more in underneath in the box, and he showed his speed and his range going and chasing the ball. His ability to go sideline to sideline, fly up and make tackles just continued to stand out. He went to went to the Senior Bowl, just like Adam Troutman. Small school guy, FCS school, Southern Illinois. He went to the Senior Bowl, showed up there, showed that he could play at the same level as those Division I guys. Then he goes to the Combine. Just like Adam Troutman before, was one of the best testers, continually in the top 5, top 10 in every single Combine drill. And once again, that shows up on tape. Range to chase the ball, explosive speed. When he turns on the jets, he flies to the ball. He showed the ability to match up with tight ends, with receivers. Now, because he played underneath, he didn't have a lot of chances to play the ball. But another guy that I did a filmer and breakdown session on him, and he showed in there was at least 1 or 2 clips where he was able to come up and play the ball in the air, get a deflection. So teams, being at a small school level, that you don't have to go after him. You can go away from a Jeremy Chin just because you have other guys you can target. But when he was given the opportunity, he shows those skill set. Now, something to kind of keep an eye on with Jeremy Chin. I have him listed as a safety. He's my safety number 4. I actually have him, Xavier McKinney, and Grant Delpit and Ashton Davis. Those are my top 4 safeties. They actually have the same grade. So I could see I have those 4 kind of grouped up together. I tend to put Chin back a little bit just because a guy like Grant Delpit has played in that SEC, and it just has that benefit of the doubt. But I would not be surprised if Jeremy Chin was the first safety taken. I would be fine with that. But something to kind of keep an eye on with him, is safety his final position? We're talking, one of the players that we're talking about, the 4th overall pick and a generational player, is Clemson's Isaiah Simmons, a guy that's started his career out as safety for Clemson, kind of translated more into a linebacker role as his career progressed. And he was another 6'4", 6'3", 225-pound safety linebacker. Jeremy Chin is right about that same size, and Jeremy Chin at the Combine put up very comparable numbers to Isaiah Simmons. And as I mentioned at the beginning, his ability to show range in the run game looks like a linebacker, looks like an elite linebacker flying sideline to sideline. So I like Chin as a safety, but maybe he kind of plays more in that box, and your team looks at him and says, hey, we need guys like him at linebacker. A lot of NFL teams, their linebackers these days are almost box safeties. And you're seeing guys at 230 pounds have success and thrive because it's a passing league. You need linebackers that can cover. You need linebackers that can run and chase. And Jeremy Chin can do that. Now, like I said, I like him at safety, but don't count him moving into linebacker, or another position that I think he could thrive at. I think he's also going to go late first, early second, probably more in the second round. But once again, if a team needs a strong safety and wants to bet on upside, I think they could go with Jeremy Chin. All right, my 3rd rated small school prospect is Ben Barch, the offensive tackle out of St. Johns. It's a Division III school up in Minnesota, so it's not St. John's in New York, known for its basketball school in the Big East. It's the St. John's Division III school in Minnesota. And here's another guy, Senior Bowl player, Combine invite. You started hearing some buzz, and so I put on the tape. I saw their game, and he's got size. He's not a 6'3", 6'4" tackle. He's 6'6", 309 pounds, and he's got the ability. When he was in his drop steps, he was getting good depth. He was, sliding nice and smooth, mirroring those pass rushers as they're trying to beat him around the corner. He's able to slide back, and he gets his hands in nice. He's got a strong, heavy punch where he can hit those defenders, kind of keep them back, and then even push them past the line of scrimmage. He plays with good knee bend. He plays with good balance. He's got the power to move and steer defenders. Now, the question is with him, once again, he's playing at the Division III level. He goes to the Senior Bowl, holds his own. So that shows that, okay, yes, he dominated at a Division III level, but he can go in, hold his own. Another guy that you probably don't draft in, early, saying, hey, we're going to throw him in. He's going to be our left tackle day one. Another guy that maybe you kind of hopefully you have a guy in place already and you can slowly bring him along. We've seen a Division III guy come in and have success in Ali Marpet with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So has happened recently. My concern with Barch is he's got good size at 6'309". His arms are a little bit shorter, and as I liked his movement skills, his ability to slide laterally to get good depth at tackle, he was having Division III guys he had to push him past the pocket, and I would want my offensive tackle, especially a guy like this, to be able to cut those guys off on a routine basis. So I wonder, shorter arms, maybe not getting the best depth. Sometimes the mirroring can give him fits. Maybe he moves inside to guard. So I think a team could see him as a tackle. A team could see him as a guard. I think he could play both based on the traits that I saw. So it'll be kind of curious to see where teams have him and where they want to play him. But I think he can do both. I have him as my 56th rated player in this class. He's my 7th rated offensive tackle. I have him ahead of a guy like Isaiah Wilson from Georgia that's getting some first round buzz. I think he's probably going to be a round 2 player just because, I could see him moving into round 3, but tackle is at such a premium. A team, even if they see him at guard, the interior line isn't the deepest position this year. So maybe a team that needs a tackle, we could see 7-8 guys go in the first round. He's one of those guys that's going to be coming up right behind him, and he doesn't have the injury issues of the Lucas Nang. He maybe has a little bit more upside than a Prince Teo Wanago. Keep an eye on Ben Bratch and where he could go on day 2. My 3rd rated small school prospect is another safety, and this is Kyle Duggar out of Lenore Ryan. Here's a guy, 6'1", 217. I mentioned Jeremy Chen earlier, goes to the scouting Senior Bowl, plays well, goes to the scouting combine, and thrives there athletically. Kyle Duggar did the exact same thing. If you go to NFL.com/combine, you look at the top performers at safeties, it's Jeremy Chen and it's Kyle Duggar, kind of right there neck and neck on all of those drills. Another guy, once again, you want to see them go to their chances to compete with high-level players, the SEC players, the Big Ten players, the power conference teams. Whether it's the Senior Bowl or the Combine, he went and showed up. Now, Lenore Ryan, once again, same thing with Jeremy Chin. Teams are able to kind of avoid him, and Duggar kind of played a little bit more as a free safety in their defense. And when you watch him on tape, he clearly stands out. He looks so much bigger than everybody's playing against, and he's only 6'1", 217, which isn't small by any means, especially for a safety, but he just looks so much bigger, and he just stands out as an athlete. He played single high. He was able to quickly read the defense, cover a lot of ground. He maybe took a few false steps, but he had the speed and the acceleration to be able to recover from that, whether it was back in zone or it was as a man defender. Now, that is a concern when he gets to the NFL. If you take a false step against an NFL receiver or playing back in zone, the quarterback's going to eat you up. The wide receiver's going to eat you up. So that's something he needs to kind of get fixed. But like I said, he's played at a small school level, so he's going to get high-level coaching. He's going to continue to develop. He's got the athletic traits. I think he's more of a strong safety than a free safety, but he has those ability to play both. And a lot of safeties in the NFL, what teams want is guys that can do a variety of things. They don't want a guy that's only a single high guy. They don't only want a guy that can play the run. They want him to be able to do both so it can disguise coverages. Because Duggar has that athletic traits, because he does have experience playing single high, you can mix up with the free safety, and he can do a lot of different things. So he's my 6th rated safety. I think he's probably a round, just based off his athletic traits and his upside. I think he's going to go in the 3rd round. I could see him maybe slipping to early day 3, but once again, I think people are going to see his size, see his athletic traits, and I think a lot of times we see good athletes go in round 3. All right, my 5th rated small school prospect, the last one that we're going to talk about today, is Rhode Island wide receiver Isaiah Colter, a 6'2", 198-pound receiver. And the thing that you see when you watch Colter is his speed. And he doesn't have Henry Ruggs speed where he just boom turns it on and he's gone. but he's got smooth speed where he can make a quick move and then he just accelerates. And then not only does he accelerate, he hits that second gear and he's able to separate. It was just so effortlessly and so smoothly. There's no hitches. It just all of a sudden, boom, it's like, where'd he go? The thing that, so speed always translates. But something I kind of keep an eye on, he is a little bit raw with his route running because at a lower level, athletic ability can kind of trump a lot of things and it helps mask some things. He wasn't asked to run a lot of crisp breaking routes because he had such speed. They also, Rhode Island struggled. I watched the Ohio game. They struggled to protect the quarterback, so you didn't get to see Colter really work down the field as much. He did have some deep runs. I like he releases really well. He's got a quick little take a step and then accelerate and change direction real quick, and then he can run past defenders. He had a touchdown like that. But when he's asked to make drastic cuts, running and sinking those hips and coming on a comeback route or making an in-breaking, stutter step and then break inside, he loses his speed. Where he's best at is running at full speed. He's got that deep speed, so he can push you deep and then put his outside foot down and just break inside. And he had success with those. And I think that's where he's going to translate the best in the NFL. Is he's going to be a deep threat. He's going to be a complimentary guy. He's not going to come in and be your number one receiver. He's probably going to be a number 3 type guy, but a guy that's going to stretch the field and make plays down the field. He's got size at 6'2". He's got speed, but another guy that you probably got to put on the move because physicality is going to be something that he struggles with even against Ohio, and Ohio is a good program in the MAC. He got a little rerouted a few times, so he's got to get a little bit stronger. That's going to come in an NFL weight program. He's got to continue to develop his routes, but I think he can come in and develop into a number 3 or at worst a number 4. Maybe he's a kick return guy. And I think he's got some potential to stick in this league and carve out a nice little role. All right, that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode, my top 5 small school prospects. Make sure while you're here, you subscribe. Check out the rest of my videos. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at draft_Brian. And until next time.